Must be 10. So, welcome to our Bhagavatam class. To the best of my knowledge, it is Sunday, September 27th, 2020. And today we're going to start with 1-830, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 30, the prayers of Queen Kunti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janma karma cha vishatman ajasya karturatmanaha tiryang nirshishu yadaksu taratyanta vidambanam. So very interesting. Kunti Devi begins here by saying, Janma Karma Cha Vishwatman, O Lord of the universe, or actually soul of the universe, Vishwatman. And she says, Janma Karma Cha Ajasya Kartur, the birth of the unborn, the action of the inactive or the non-actor. So this is obviously a paradox. It's similar to the Upanishad, Tadejati, Tanajati, that absolute truth moves, it doesn't move. And here we have the birth of the unborn, Janma Ajasya, and Karma Akaratur, the activities of one who doesn't act, who does nothing. So Janma Karma Cha Vishatman Ajasya Akaratur Atmanaha. And so it is the birth and actions of the soul, the capital S, of the Supreme Soul. And then Krishna says that, Queen Kunti says, Tiryang Nirshishu Yadaksu, which means Tiryang, that the Lord, you appear, Tiryang, among animals, Nir, among human beings, Rishishu, among sages, Yadaksu, among the fish, aquatics. So, close that window there. So Krishna appears in all these different species, in all these different forms. Animals, human beings, sages, fish, and of course there are many more. And then Kunti says, tad, that, atyanta. Atyanta means exceedingly. Prabhupada translates it veritable. Anta means the end. Or the end, and so ati means like beyond limits. Anta is like the end, the limit, and so it's like beyond limit, like that. And Vidambanam is a very interesting word in Sanskrit. Vidambanam means an imitation. So Krishna is pretending to be a fish or a human being or a sage. So it's copying, he's sort of acting the way they do, representing, playing the part of anyone. It can mean an imposter or a disguise. And especially, as it said here, applied to a god assuming human form. So it's very interesting, this word, and Kunti Devi says this is beyond limit, Vidambanam. This is beyond limit. Amazing, or here Vidambanam also means some things don't really apply here. So yeah, Vidambanam, it's amazing how you are imitating to this extent, like so perfectly imitating human beings and sages and fish and animals. So Kunti Devi is astonished at this, how Krishna can do all these things. Not that how he's able to do it, that's the easy part, but the fact that he does do all these things. And so it's good to take a moment and just think about the nature of God. He's very playful. You think about it, to take the form of a fish and or an animal. It's very creative. It's very playful, Leela. So Krishna is doing all these things. He's a very fun-loving Supreme Personality of Godhead. And of course, when he comes and does these things, he also saves the universe. But if he has to come and save the universe, it's like, why not, make your job fun? So he comes and he does that because Krishna says in the Gita, in every age he comes and saves the world, but why not have a good time while you're doing it? So he comes in all these different forms. So that's this prayer. Janma karma cha vishatman ajasya kartur atmanaha tiryang nir shishu yadaksu tarat yanta vidambanam. And the next verse is Gopya dade twai kritagasi damatavat jate dashashu kalilang jana sambramaksham vaktramni niya bhaya bhavanaya stitasya samang vimohayati bhirapi jad viveti. So Gopi, meaning here Yashoda. We always say the gopis thinking of Krishna's cowherd girlfriends, but Yashoda is also a gopi. She's a cowherd lady. So Gopi Adade, the gopi Yashoda took a rope, Dama, and of course Krishna's called Damodar because a rope was put around his waist. It means like rope waist, Lord Rope Waist. So, of course, we're used to the name Damodar. So, Gopiada Day, the Gopi took Twai unto you, Kritagasi, who had done mischief. Kritagasi means you who did mischief. She took a rope, Dama, Tavat, and then Jate Dasha, Ashru Kalilanjana, Sambramaksham, Vaktram Niniya Bhaya Bhavanayasti Tasya. So she says, Jate Dasha, that situation of yours, that scene that you created. Jate Dasha, Ashru Kalila, your eyes filled with tears, and Anjana, a little black ointment they put in the eyes. Sambramaksham, which was sort of, your eyes were disturbed and you were crying, so the little black ointment, Anjana. By the way, when it said, Om Jnana Tamirandasya Jnanang Jana Shalakaya, Shalakaya doesn't mean with a torch, or the torchlight, as is often, I'll explain why it's incorrectly translated as with the torch of knowledge, or the torchlight of knowledge, which you may have heard. That's because Shalaka actually means a little brush. And so, an Anjana, Jnanang Jana Shalakaya, it means with the knowledge ointment, because Anjana is that little black ointment like Krishna had in his eyes, and it's also used to cure a disease of the eye or to open the eyes. And so it's actually a little brush that you use to put the ointment on. But but somehow it became called a torch. I mean, a torch also in England and other countries means a flashlight, or can be like a little torch or something. And so, but it's actually a little brush that you use to put the ointment on the eye. So, in other words, the knowledge we receive from the Guru is like that ointment that opens our eyes and gives us back our vision. So, Jate Dashashu Kalilang Jana Sampramaksham, and so your eyes were all bewildered. Vaktram Niniya. Vaktram. One second here. Just to. Yeah, so Vaktra means the face, and so Vaktra Niniya, Bhaya Bhavanaya Stitasya Samang Vimohati Bhirapi Jad Viveti. So putting his face down, actually. Vaktram Ni. Ni means down, and Ni means like placing or leading. So placing his face down. He was downcast. Vaktram Niniya, Bhaya Bhavanaya, and Stitasya, you who are situated in that sort of that emotional state of fear. Bhaya bhavana yasti tasya sa. So sa here, if you're following the Sanskrit, refers to dasha, back in the second line, that scene that you created. So that scene, sa mang vimohayati, that scene bewilders me, because bhirapi, even fear itself, yad vibheti, fears you. Even fear itself fears you. So that scene where you were afraid of your mother and you put your face down, and because she was coming with a rope, because you've done mischief. So Kunti is describing that Damodar scene. And so because fear, personified fear himself, fears Krishna. He's a supreme God, yet he's like a little child afraid of his mother. So to say that bewilders me, it also means that enchants me, that is enchanting me, that is just completely amazing me. It means all those things. So Kechirahur Ajang Jatam. Some say that the unborn is born. Kechirahur Ajam Jatam. Some say Kechit means some people. Ahur say Ajang, the unborn, Jatam is taken birth. Punya Shlokasya Kirtaye Yadok Priyasyan Bhavaye. For the glory of the lineage, Anvaya, Anu means following, and Aya and Avaya, so it means like a lineage. So in order to glorify, for the glorification of the Yadu dynasty, that you appeared in their lineage. Yado Priyasyan Bhavaye, you took birth in that, the Yadu dynasty, which was dear to you, to glorify them, to glorify the Yadus. Malaya Siva Chandanam, just like Chandan, they say, sandalwood glorifies Malaya, now called Malaysia. But it's because sandalwood came from that area, sort of southeast of India. And so the sandalwood glorifies that region because it comes from there. So in the same way, you were glorifying the Yadu dynasty by taking birth in that dynasty, which was a very pious dynasty and very dear to you. So then apare vasudevasya. Apare means other people. Like some people say you did this. Now other people are saying, so these are different theories that people had, or different ideas people had about why did Krishna come to this world. So apare, other people think vasudevasya devakyam yachito vyagat. That being prayed for, because the demigods, the devas, were praying for Krishna to come. So Abhyagat, he came, Devakyam, in the womb of Devaki, Vasudevasya, fathered by Vasudev, Ajas Twam Asyakshemai, but again you were Aja. So Kunti Devi has said 3 times that you were unborn. 3 times Kunti Devi has said you were unborn. The obvious point here, she is strongly emphasizing that Krishna does not have a material body, that he does not take birth the way we do. And so that's what's being emphasized here. Ajas, again, unborn. Ajas tvam asyakshemaya, and for the welfare of the world, vadaya cha sura dishang, and for the killing of those who are enemies of the gods. Sura dishang, those who envy the gods, those who are against, in other words, those who are against the constitutional government of the universe. So that's another idea people had at the time about why Krishna came. And then Anye, and then other people. Here's the third idea. There's only 3 theories mentioned here, which people who were on the earth at the same time as Krishna Here's another idea people had, Bharavataranaaya, to bring down the burden of the earth. Bharavataranaaya anye bhuvo. Bhara means a burden, which actually the English word burden is related to the Sanskrit word vara, like we say in English to bear something, like to carry it, vara, bear. So vara, and then avatara, this is interesting. Avatara, avatara means one who comes down, crosses down, means down. So avatarana can also mean to bring down here. So to bring down the burden of the earth. Bharavataranai anye, other people say, bhuvo, nava evo dadao, like a boat, nava. That's where we get the word naval or nautical, Sanskrit word nava. So, nava eva, like a boat, udadhao, on the sea. Bhuvo navivo dadhao. Sidantya bhuri bharena jato hyatma bhuvartitaha. Bhuvo nava evo dadhao. So you came, so the word sidantya actually goes with the first word, bara. You came to relieve the burden of the earth, bhuvo, the earth which was sidantya, which was sinking, bhuri bharena, under this heavy burden. And therefore, jato, you took birth, he, indeed, atma bhuvartita, because you were artita, you were prayed for, you were asked for by Atma Bhu, the self-born, which means Lord Brahma here, Atma Bhuva, because Lord Brahma doesn't have a mother; he's just born from Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So therefore, so that's the very beautiful verse, Bharavataranayan ye bhuvo navi vodatau sidantya bhuri bharina jato hyatma bhuvartitaha. So that's that verse. Maybe we'll do one more verse, and if there's any questions, those can be sent over. Let's see. Next verse, Bhavesmin Klishamananang Avidya Kama Karma Vi Shavana Smaranarhani Kadishaniti Kechana. So we have a fourth theory here. This is the fourth idea. Of course, all of them are correct. They're all true. But different people emphasize different reasons. So here's the fourth idea. Kechana means some people said that Bhavesmin Klishamananang, for those who are suffering, Bhavesmin, in this material world. Bhavesmin Klishamananang avidya kama karma vi, and they're suffering because of their ignorant, selfish actions. That's literally what it means. Avidya kama karma vi, for those who are suffering in this world because by their suffering, by their ignorant, selfish actions. Shavana smaranar hani karishan iti kechana. This is very interesting. Anyway, I can't go into all the Sanskrit grammar here, which is actually quite interesting. But anyway, iti kechana. Some people say you came because you took birth in order to perform activities which are deserve to be heard and remembered. Karishan means because you will be performing. In other words, people said this when Krishna was born. Because it's interesting, because although Krishna now is not at the end of his pastimes, but well, sort of, actually, this is the end of Kurukshetra, Kunti's coming to. So this is sort of the last stage of his pastimes. But Kunti is talking about what people said when Krishna took birth, that he will be doing these things. So people began to, as soon as Krishna was born, because he was born, he killed all of the demons sent by Kamsa, he killed Kamsa. So people are already talking. So he will be doing, or he's about to perform. Kadishan, will go into all the grammar here. Shravana means hearing. Smarna means remembering. Arhani means worthy of hearing and remembering. So in other words, let's see how Prabhupada translates this. And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshiping, and so on. So arha can also mean worship. In order that the conditioned souls suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. So, in other words, Krishna came so that right now, today, we could have this Bhagavatam class. Krishna came so that in the future, people like us could hear about this and remember what Krishna did and thus be liberated. So Krishna came not only for the people who were alive on the earth at the time he came, but so that for thousands and thousands of years after that, we could talk about him. We'd have something to talk about. So that's what Kunti is saying. Anyway, so maybe we'll stop there and let's see if there are any questions. It is mentioned pious kings. How can a devotee nowadays deal with the not so pious or moral politicians elected? Oof. Should a devotee not vote and care at all, or try at least to vote for the least evil option? Yeah, it's typical when you have to vote between Democrats and Republicans. It's typical you have to choose between the baby killers and the other people killers. So I think it's a personal decision. It's a material matter. In a sense, it's like, of course, we try to do it for Krishna, but it's sort of something involving the material world. Different devotees may have different opinions. So I sort of leave it to everyone's individual conscience to decide how they want to act in regard to democratic elections. So, does Queen Kunti figure into Chaitanya Leela at all? Good question. Did Chaitanya or his contemporary associates discuss Queen Kunti? Well, Lord Chaitanya was always hearing the Bhagavatam, so clearly he knew about Queen Kunti very well. I mean, she's his pure devotee, and I'm sure many times you heard her pastimes. As far as did Queen Kunti appear in Chaitanya Leela, you'll have to read the Chaitanya Charitamrita and look to see. If you find out, let us know. When we see that God has different incarnations from a theoretical standpoint, how can one be convinced that the art of bhakti yoga is monotheistic? I don't really see a problem, because all these they're incarnations of Krishna. We can only appear in one place at one time. Like right now, I'm in Coronado, California, in this very stylish shirt here. That was a joke. So to the best of my knowledge, this is the only place I am right now. And if I'm somewhere else, I really don't know about it. So Krishna, on the other hand, he's God. He's God. He's not just like one of us. And so he can appear in innumerable places at the same time in different forms, but it's still one person, Advaitam, which means not two. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. There's only one God, Anantarupam. He has unlimited forms, Anantarupam, but still Advaitam. There aren't two gods. There's only one God. We are monotheists. So for Krishna to appear in infinite forms simultaneously is, it's obviously for us it would be a little difficult, but for Krishna it's not. He just naturally does it. That's what he does. Could you explain Krishna's pastime of leaving this world? I still don't understand what was Krishna's reason behind choosing to leave in those circumstances with the hunter. When Krishna comes to this world, he has to do two things, which are not so easy to reconcile. One is he has to reveal himself to the devotees, perform his pastimes, get everyone fired up for bhakti yoga. But the other thing he does is he has to do all that in a way that does not interfere with the free will of the envious, of non-devotees. So if Krishna just made it obvious what he was doing to everyone, and just left the world in glory like a, pillar of fire or something, or other dramatic arrangements, people might worship him not because they really care about Krishna. They don't, not the person Krishna, but because of his position. It's just like if you want a job and you go for a job interview and you try to please the boss that's interviewing you, you don't give a damn about the boss. You want the job. Or if you're trying to make a sale and you, shake the person's hand vigorously and, yeah, it's great to meet you. Yeah, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. Actually, the person just wants your money. So therefore, Krishna doesn't want people who just think, yeah, I'd like a long-term vacation in Krishna Loka. Sounds nice. Water features, nice gardens. So therefore, Krishna wants to separate the, I don't want to say the men from the boys. That's terribly sexist. Krishna wants to separate the real devotees from those who just want to load up with benefits. He wants people who really love him. For example, let's say you love someone, you really love someone, and that person loses their job. I mean, it's not a lazy bum that you don't want to live with. But let's say it's a good person that just for some reason lost their job. You don't abandon them because hopefully you didn't love them just because of some position they had. So Krishna wants to weed out the, the parasites, or people that just want to use him for something. So he leaves the world in a way which protects their understanding that Krishna is not really a supreme God, because they want to think that, and Krishna lets them think that. And at a certain point, when their heart changes, then Krishna will come to them again in a different way. So Krishna, fakes out the non-devotees, reveals himself to the devotees. That's Krishna. So thank you all very much for attending our Bhagavatam class. And hope you'll all be back next week. Keep sending in those extraordinarily large donations. I'm just kidding. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.